Okay, folks, listen. This is your boy AB, right? I'm gonna say it this way. You guys have probably seen, if you've been following me for a minute, I done made chili all kind of ways. I done gave you guys a heads up about adding the cinnamon. But listen, this is gonna be your new favorite. Follow this one to a T, and we finna get it. Okay, so look, this is what we finna do, right? Obviously, I'm using a cast iron. It's a nice heavy cast iron skillet. You know what I mean? So we're gonna start putting some heat here. Let it spread. So let me get this on top. Now we're gonna turn our attention to these ingredients, right? Before I show you these, as you guys are looking at them anyway, don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website. That's smokingandgrillingwithab.com, and that's WITAB.com. Now listen, we got a couple of little, a few little cans right here, but don't worry. All of these have been, except for this, everything else has been drained, right? Real easy. We're doing it in a crock pot. This is gonna be our tool of choice. You guys can have a choice to cook this all day. And then for those of you guys that didn't really plan it out that way, we can go ahead and just make this in probably about 4 hours. You know what I mean? So when you get off work, go ahead, throw these ingredients in there and let that do it. Now, as this is building up heat, let's check it. Ah, yeah, it's starting to get hot already. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna add just a little bit. Now, when it comes to my beef, I use 80-20, right? So let's just go ahead and get this in here. All right, so listen, this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and just break this up a little bit, because what we wanna do is get maximum coverage on the bottom just from the gate, right? And the reason I do that, because I like to get a little crust in there too. All of this equals the flavor, right? So when I break it up like this, we just leave it. Now I'm not finna disturb it or nothing like that. I'm actually getting ready to turn up my fire. You know what I mean? Yeah, we want to have like a medium flame underneath the bottom, right? And then don't forget, this is 80-20, so you'll see it starting to release some of the fat inside of here too. So you see this right here? This is what we want. I still see some pink. What I'm getting ready to do is put in about half of my onion. If you put in too much, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But you just want to put half in, because we're going to cook this and get this to sweat down, you know what I mean, and release its flavors inside of here, right? So we'll just mix this. And notice I'm using look, this is actually bamboo, right? But I'm using a square edge wooden spoon. So what I do is I take it, all of the big pieces that's in here, we just go ahead and hit them, and then we get them to, get smaller. It's up to you. If you want to leave it chunky, you can. You know what I mean? But I like mine to be a little bit on the fine side. Okay, so look, you can see I put my minced garlic, I put it on top, right? Now I'm going to add my paste. And now we just give this a mix along with our garlic to get everything to loosen up, right? You're not gonna get the paste to just run like a liquid, even though this is all hot. And then I told you guys in the very beginning I did 80-20, right? But look right here. When I push this back, you really don't see a lot of grease. If you guys have a lot of grease, you know what I mean? For some reason, I don't know why you would, because if you're using 80-20, it should be the same. But if you do, you can drain it. All right, so now I'm gonna take the rest of my seasonings and I'm gonna go ahead and just add these to it, all right? Trust me, I measured this all out for you guys. You guys go ahead and do it just like this, and I promise you're gonna come up with something that's gonna knock your socks off. All right, so now we're getting ready to man, this came out right. If you don't smell what you did right here, this is your prep work, getting your ground beef together. If you don't smell it and it don't smell like chili, you did something wrong, right? But now we finna make an award-winning chili. So let's go ahead and get this in here. Right? Now we worked hard to get it. I know this is gonna be a little petty, but we finna get all of this in there. Any of that little flavor, any of that fat that I do see, let's get it all. I promise you it's gonna make a difference at the end. Now, some of y'all gonna say something about my onions. Remember I saved some onions back? Watch this. All right, so look, come on in here, take a look at this right here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get to this onion part since I brought it up. I cooked the onions down there because I want them to sweat and put the onion in there so I can get that flavor, right? It's just part of the mixture, right? That's the part that makes sense. You put it there like that. Now I'm gonna come with these. Now some of y'all, I know you're gonna say, how come I didn't just put them all in? Because these, I wanna see a little onion at the end and I wanna have some integrity. But the other onions I put in there, you can barely see them. You can see them though. You can see them right there. Look at that. That's your flavor. Now, when the last onions that I just put in, when those cook down, those are gonna be just right. It's gonna help you with the presentation, but most of all, you'll see. You're gonna have that onion, that little bite of onion inside, right? Each spoonful. So the rest of it is real easy. You just take it and you pour everything in. It becomes a dump and go, folks. Just a little bit of prep work in the beginning. I'm gonna say this, 15, 20 minutes, you in your crock pot, and it's already working. Now we add in our beans. We gotta talk about it, folks. And you know what? I used to think that everybody in Texas don't like beans, but that is so wrong. I think half the state is divided. Some people say that beans don't even belong inside of chili. You guys let me know what you think and what's your opinion down in the comment section below. This is gonna be a little different as far as like if you've been watching my last videos. Because of the flavor, I like to use the profile from chicken stock, right? Chicken stock or chicken broth, but this time we using, look at that right there. That's that beef broth. So I'm gonna just pour this in here just like you see. Now it's measured out and it's just right. You know what I mean? So you guys go ahead and do it. Please follow these instructions just like this. And I'm gonna show you how we gonna level it up at the end, but this right here be your next chili you take to your next potluck or wherever you're gonna take it. Matter of fact, enter it in the fireman's chili cook-off. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta let them know that you got it from here, but at least come back and tell me like, hey, I won, AB, thanks. All right, now I'm just gonna give this a little, that's all it is. Just a generous pinch of salt. That's kosher salt, that is. You guys know I like to use that. You know what I mean? That's a coarse grind. And then this, oh yeah. Now, we finna let the crock pot do all the work. Take it. Now we set the time. All right, so when it comes to power, listen, we can do this 8 hours on low or we can do this 4 hours on high, right? So we're gonna go ahead and hit high cook. I'm gonna go ahead and start bringing my time up. And right now we should be at 4. Actually, I'm gonna put it at 4 hours and 30 minutes. And I'm gonna hit start and I'll see you guys in a little while. Okay, let me give you guys a pro tip, right? Listen, when using a crock pot or slow cooker, it is designed for the lid to be on. You know what I mean? If you take the top off to check, stir, or do anything, add 30 minutes onto your cook. Just the way it's designed, it keep the heat in, and that's all been calculated, when we come up with these timing. But remember, if you take the top off, you done let all the heat out. We got to build all that back, so you might as well add 30 more minutes. AB's pro tip. All right, so listen, we back, folks. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this away from myself, letting this little steam out. Actually, I don't know if you guys ever saw, I set it for 4.5 hours. You know what I mean? Then this particular model right here, what it does is it set itself to warm. But I want you to look at this right here. Remember I told you I took the time to get the measurements just right for y'all. Look at the thickness. This right here is some chili. Yeah, this is it right here. Yes, sir. So let me go ahead and take a couple pictures of this. Then we finna taste it. Now, let me just see one thing while we got it like this. You can see what I'm talking about the onion. The other onions are just kind of like dissipate and just release all of its flavor into the chili. And this right here are the ones that we put on there last minute. You know what I'm saying? They're more on the raw side. But now that they cook down, they nice, folks. Okay, folks, look, I done already, obviously, I put some in the bowl, took some pictures right here. It's all about, we got to get you guys to come in here and click on it, right? So if we make a nice looking thumbnail, and then, most of you guys have probably know who I am. You guys, put that trust factor in there. I'll never steer you wrong, and we come up with something like this. Look at how it presents. That right there is fire. Now, I can tell you, I done stuck a couple of these corn chips inside of there, and, and got me some. This right here is just right on point. Listen, I'm not finna over talk or nothing like that. Gotta have that cornbread, and you know what we finna do? We finna just go right in here like this. Oh, wait, we got to add at least one of these on top. Now look, I wanna show you something. You see this right there? See how it gets soft? Some of y'all gonna like it crunchy. To be honest with you, I like to put these underneath, let them get nice and soft. I get my, cornbread and all of this all in one. This one is gonna be crispy and soft. Now, what you didn't see me do off camera, which I forgot to even record that, I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound crazy, right? You wanna put, I already put it up too. You're gonna wanna put a teaspoon, just level it off for the amount, for the ingredients that I gave you, just put a teaspoon of cinnamon, and trust me, read the comments. Those who know have ate some of my other chilies, you know what I mean? That just levels it up. Won't nobody even know there's no cinnamon in there. You know what I mean? Once they just put it in their mouth, they be like, dang, it's something in here that's different, and that's what's gonna be the fire. Now, talk to me down in the comment section below and let me know what else would you had added to this. I know some of y'all, I'm gonna take one from y'all. I know y'all gonna say, you could have put a big leaf in it, AB. You know what I mean? But talk to me. Let's put our thinking cap on and tell me. Now, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and tell everybody out there there's a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. Now, usually I exit that way, but I'm gonna go this way this time because I gotta get my picture. We finna put some grape Kool-Aid in and some sugar, and we about to drink, folks. I'm out. Peace.